This is the Rolex Submariner Hulk, and I wanted to make this video because I've lived with it long enough to move past the honeymoon and into the real day-to-day stuff. I wasn't sure a bright green sub would work for me. I figured it might be a weekend flex that sat in the box most of a week. Turns out I was wrong in a bunch of interesting ways, and that's why I'm sharing this. In the category of dive watches, this sits at the premium end. You're paying for build, finishing, consistency, and that iconic look. It's not the spec king on paper, and it's definitely not a budget buy. I see it fitting people who want a tough everyday piece with a big personality, and who don't mind the attention that comes with a vivid dial. If you want invisible and low-key, this isn't that. What surprised me most is how wearable the green actually is. Indoors, it reads dark, almost black at certain angles, so it plays nice with jeans, a hoodie, or a button-down. Step outside and the sunburst dial lights up like a neon emerald. That shift is the hook. It never feels flat. I've caught myself moving my wrist just to watch the light spin across the dial. It adds a bit of joy to boring days. Comfort-wise, the Glide Lock clasp is the unsung hero. I use it constantly. After lunch or on a hot commute, I pop it out a notch, and when things cool down, I click it tighter. No tools, no fuss. And it keeps the watch centered so it doesn't flop around. The weight feels dense, but the bracelet balances it, so it doesn't head heavy the way some chunky watches do. On my wrist, the case wears bigger than the number suggests. The lugs are thick and square. That presence is part of the charm, but it does mean a fitted dress shirt cuff can catch. If you wear tight sleeves all day, that's something to consider. Durability has been a tale of two materials. The ceramic bezel and the crystal have stayed flawless. I've bumped it, used the bezel to time coffee, parking meters, pasta. All the everyday stuff. Still looks mint from the top. The steel, on the other hand, picks up hairlines like crazy. The clasp shows my desk habits. The polished sides get marked by door frames and laptop edges. I've learned to live with it. You can clean it up with a light Cape Cod if you're into that, but I like the honest wear. After a swim in the ocean, I always rinse with fresh water, and I've had zero corrosion issues. At night, the blue lume is strong and easy on the eyes. I can wake up at 3 a.m., glance over, and read it instantly without blasting my vision. The bezel action is crisp with positive clicks, zero slop, and it's one of those small tactile things that makes you smile when you use it. On the movement side, it's been boring in the best way. Mine runs consistently, a touch fast, and it stays that way if I keep it on the wrist. If I set it down Friday evening, by Monday it's stopped, so I do a quick reset and give it a few winds. That's the trade-off with the power reserve here. The winding feel has a smooth, mechanical resistance that makes it feel like a proper machine. After a few years, I noticed the wind felt a little gritty, got it serviced, and it was back to silky. Nothing dramatic, just the regular rhythm of ownership. Aesthetically, the case is a bruiser. The crown guards are serious, and the lugs make it look broader than a typical 40. I don't think it's a dress watch, and I don't force it into that role. With a blazer or casual office wear, it looks right. With a tux, not so much. It also does not fly under the radar. If you prefer subtle, the black sub is better. The Hulk gets comments from watch folks and from people who just dig the color. That attention can be fun, and sometimes it's a little much. Depends on your environment. Compared to what I used before, the difference is real. I wore a classic black sub from the older era with the aluminum bezel and a simpler clasp. That watch slid under cuffs easier and felt slimmer on the wrist. It also picked up scratches on the bezel and the insert faded. The bracelet rattled a bit over time. The Hulk feels solid everywhere. Bracelet links, end links, clasp. The ceramic bezel still looks day one fresh. The trade is that chunkier case. I miss the sleeker profile of the older one sometimes, but I'd take the daily comfort of the modern clasp and the durability of ceramic any day. I also spent time with the newer sub that has a longer power reserve and slightly refined proportions. It's smoother and more set it down Friday, pick it up Monday, friendly. If you want a weekender that you don't have to wind, that's an advantage. Where the Hulk wins for me is the dial. Nothing else looks quite like this green sunburst with a matching bezel. It gives the watch a personality the newer options don't replicate. I've tried more expensive pieces in the same lane, and while the finishing can be beautiful, I keep coming back to how easy this is to wear and how consistent it is, day after day. As for value, it's a lot of money, and you need to actually want the green. If you're just trying to justify it on specs, you'll find better power reserves elsewhere, and slimmer cases too. The reason to pick this is the way it makes you feel when you glance at your wrist. The steel will scratch, the clasp will show you routine, and the case won't disappear under a cuff. But the bezel stays perfect, the dial keeps you engaged, and the comfort of the clasp lets you forget it's there when you're working. For me, that adds up. I don't baby it, I wear it. And I still get a little kick every time the sun hits that dial. If you've got questions I didn't cover, drop them in the comments. I read them, and I'll reply with any extra details from my experience. If this video helped you out, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one, and let me know what you want to see reviewed next. Thank you for watching.